Hello, everybody. It's me, Brian, the Music Man. I'm back here with just a short video. It's going to be a preview for what do I have on my rack and in my little studio, if you want to call it that. It's my dungeon. Anyway, it's just going to be a preview of some things I have, a quick overview of what I have and how I got it hooked up. And I'm just not going to go into real great depth, but I'm also going to be showing you a possibility for those of you who want to be adventurous with totally free software. If you have a Windows machine, I'm pretty sure Mac also I think is good, but it's for with the VCV. It's an analog synth unit that is totally synthetic because it's software. And like an analog synthesizer, it only does one voice at a time. And if you try to do two voices, the next voice just tackles over the other voice and crushes it like it wasn't ever there. But anyway, that's neither here nor there for right now. So let me just take this and cut this down. As you can see here in the little video below, you see my little rack. Well, what's in the rack? Well, at the top it's a Yamaha TG33. Right below it is a Yamaha MU90R. It's basically two synthesizers, 16-channel synthesizers in one box. So it's really handy to have. It gives me 32 channels overall. And then underneath that, to the left, is the Yamaha TG300. And yes, folks, I'm partial to Yamaha, though Roland and Korg and some of the others make quality equipment. It's just I happened to find these, and they were available for on the cheap, except for the TG300. That one I bought brand new way back then. That was my first unit. And then the gray box underneath that, that's a JL Cooper. It's a Midi switcher. It allows me to create patches, meaning I can reroute how everything gets hooked up to the different units, for Midi and that. So I don't have to worry about plugging cables in at all. Just change the patch and program it. I can merge certain signals into one channel, so that let's say that I want to take and key in with something with on the keyboard, meaning musical keyboard for like piano, and while playing something via MIDI, I can do that also. Then underneath that is just nothing but a power supply for 12 volts. Underneath that is my power supply switch that has AC outlets. Underneath that is my reverb unit it's a Multiverb 3. And then underneath that it's just a preamp out, which I'm not using right now because I don't have my big amps on, and that for powering my major speakers and all that. So, but anyway, just to kind of show how everything gets hooked up, let me just, voila, there you go. Okay, you can see my cursor there. And like I was saying, TG33, the Yamaha MU90R, the TG300, the JL Cooper MSB. It's an 8x8 MIDI switch. What that means is that I've got 8 channels in and 8 channels out, and I can program them so that channel 1 goes to channel 8, channel 2 goes to channel 3. I can also have it so that channel 2 can be a merging of channel 5 and 6, or however I want to have it, and that. So, and then of course my multiverb, that's my digital effects thing. That's for those of you who listen to pardon me, the CoCo Talk Live, and sometimes you got that frog in the voice. That's the unit that's doing the effects and all that. And then my preamp, which go out to my amplifiers, and then down over here, I've got my 12-channel mixer. So I can mix everything in, and I send it out to my laptop then, and also to my speakers, and away we go. And like I said, this here, the MIDI switch, is really invaluable because it lets you, on the fly, change your patches real quick. You can actually send on a dedicated channel information to this via MIDI so that you can, on the fly, say, oh, I want to have set up these patches now because I got this something really special coming along, and it's got to have this particular patch. So I can send it to it. It switches to it. You can also, I believe, program it, but I'm not going to go into that. That's not the purpose of this. This is just a quick preview of what I have. And, so you can see right from here what I've got going in that. So I can, bring in MIDI from my regular PC, also MIDI in from the CoCo, MIDI in from my keyboard, and then I can also have the MIDI coming out, going back into the PC on my MIDI input. I've got a USB MIDI input unit for my laptop that has 2 channels in and out. So I can, separate things a little bit, and so I don't get an infinite loop. Because if I go out on A and then in on A, that can cause a big loop and some bad data in that. So if you ever get like a MIDI Man or M Audio or something like that, a USB MIDI input output unit, get at least a 2-channel or 4 or 6 or 8 channel if you really want to expand things out a little bit. But at least a 2-channel would do it, and then you can find them used or you can buy them new, and they work out really nice. That's one of the ways you can do it in that. And what I was talking about before about using a software synthesizer instead of having physical hardware, that's really kind of what I'm going to show real quick right now. Let me just shut this off here, and there we go. Now, as you can see right from here, I've got a song already up on Ultra's. I'm going to use the CoCo as the delivery for MIDI information. And this is, just so you can see, it's the Mr. Ed theme song that I did it before in the last time, and all it is just simple, something simple. There's only 3 channels total. Pardon me, of data coming out. So let me just get that. All right. So this is what it sounds like when you play it through a regular synthesizer. Okay, so you hear how that is, and that's all that you really need right there. But I also have VCV. There's VCV. I already have it up on the screen and all that. And you really can't see it here, but I'm just going to kind of blow this up a little bit here. Like I was saying before, the pardon me, the analog synthesizers like Moog and all those and all that, they only operate 1 channel, 1 voice at a time, like a flute or a clarinet. where you do one note at a time. It's not like a multi-stringed instrument where you're playing 4, 6 strings or what have you. You can do them all at the same time to make a chord. That's the older synthesizers don't really do that. There is a way to fake it a little bit, but I'm not going to go into that. But anyway, I've got 4 channels here that I created. They're basically, other than the top one, these are all clones of each other, but each has a different tone or sound that's being created by each of these channels here. And let me just kind of see if I can blow that up. There we go. All right, I'm just going to show this here, and I'll bring it back here. This here is just the module that shows that, okay, I am an input. What do you want me to input and from where? Well, in this case here, I've selected MIDI window or Windows MIDI, and I selected that I wanted to have the B input from the MIDI Sport, which was my 2x2 input device for USB, and I want to select only channel 1. And if you take a look here, same thing, but channel 2, same thing here, channel 3, and that top voice here, I've only got it set. I also have it set for channel 1. So let me just get this back to where you can kind of see everything going at the same time. Dang dry air. So anyway, there we go. We've got everything here that you need to see. And I'm just going to take this and and one of the things that I have to do here is that I got to change the switching here. As you can see here in here, I've got to change this to, there we go, patch 1-1. That changes the patch right there so that it actually takes in, which is the CoCo Midi output. I have the this here channel 7 that goes out to the input, the USB MIDI input on the B on the USB unit there, so that the computer, the laptop, can actually receive MIDI information. So I'm taking channel 2, which is the CoCo Midi input, and putting it to output 7 so that I can play the music, and the synthesizer, the software synthesizer, can actually read the information. So let's see what it sounds like. It's going to sound a little odd. I just kind of just flew this together real quick, and so here we go, just for grins. Well, anyway, just to kind of give you kind of a bit of a preview of that. My pardon. I apologize for the coughing and that. But that's just to kind of like show, and like I said, a preview of what I have. And this is one of the things that you yourself can do also. And, I didn't show this here while it was playing. So I'm going to just play it just real quick and see what it is doing. Anyway, that gives you more of an idea. I just got just some extra things in here. And I'll just expand this up just a little bit more. And so you can see what's going on. Just a quick preview on this. And this software, by the way, folks, completely free. All these modules that I have are all free also. They do have paid modules that are a little bit more professional in that, but there's a lot of free ones out there that are being developed. But anyway, like I said, this here is just an input device so you can patch in your signals, different signals to different modules and such. This here is a combined oscillator setup here of multiple oscillators to do different things in one neat package, which is really nice. So these are all the gate voltages and all that. And then the output, which is actually the audio, I run that through a modulation for chorusing and such to get a little bit interesting sound. Then the output of that, I just have go to a mixer down here in that, and then I just feed the back into the scope and to the spectrum analyzer, and just to make it thing just pretty and all that. It's not necessary to have them, but it's kind of nice to see what's going on. And each of those bottom three are the same. And I just simply say in here that I want to send it to the speakers. In a way it goes, and so it goes directly to my computer speakers and just comes right on out. So anyway, folks, I just want to kind of show you that this is a viable option. The only drawback to it is that you have to learn how to get all these modules to function together. So there's a bit of a learning curve, and it's not real short in that. So you have to kind of like take a look and see what you have to do to build for each of your units. Because even though this here is a basic setup here, you have to select all your different controls here to get the correct sound in that. So if I were to take and just use from my keyboard, it's not working, which is fine. I don't care. I think that's why. Okay, there you go. I was on the wrong channel. So just from the keyboard, you can go through and you can randomize it so that you can, have a starting point, and it'll do presets. And you kind of select and choose and move some things around. I'm not going to go into all of that. I'm no expert. Danny, I know you're listening and you're watching some of these videos and all that. Maybe you could chime in on Facebook and kind of see, some different ideas on how to get this working right. But folks, this is an option, and I just want to bring it to your attention that there's multiple ways. This is just one of the ways that you can make sound with the CoCo and not have to buy any synthesizers. All you need is a little bit of software and a decent computer. So, folks, have a good night and CoCo on.